Yeah, g'day Bush Camping Tools. Well, today, with me out here, I've got Extrema Ratio Task. This is a very nice knife. Let's have a look at it. Okay, so this is the Task, and they call it the Task simply because Extrema say it's going to be really good at all-day cutting tasks. And I've got to say, so far, those are my impressions too. Let's start with the blade itself. It's N690 Cobalt stainless from Bowler Udderholm. It's a full 6mm thick across the spine here. That's the thickest part. It's 6mm thick, and it narrows down, it tapers down here towards the tip of the blade to a very thin blade. And that's what you want for effective cutting. Now, there's a lot of people that like to carry a really big, thick bladed knife with them out into the wilds, and that's perfectly okay. But sometimes it's really good to have a much thinner blade for many tasks that involve cutting, of course, rather than chopping. Now, as you can see, because this is a thinner blade here, this is not going to be a good knife which I would lever with, and besides that, if you want to lever something, you get a pry bar, not a knife. Now, the Task also comes with serrations. Down here, it's partially serrated. And there's some finger gimping or thumb gimping on the top of the spine here, and also on part of the handle. Now, these handles are like all the Extrema handles. They're very, very comfortable handles. Now, some people have described this blade saying it's a modified Warncliffe or an upside down Tanto. Quite frankly, it's really neither here nor there, and especially not a modified Warncliffe. For those of you that know the history of Warncliffe and his design of blades with Joseph Rogers, you see it's not that. But anyway, I don't want to get into that here. Let's look more closely at the blade here again. So it thins down towards the tip. The design of the blade, it's slightly curved in this area here, a very slight belly here. That aids in cutting. When you're pressing down on this knife, you've got really good control. And of course, you've got a choil here too, so if you want to choke up on the blade for fine tasks. And I would say, at a first glance here, it's really a bit like, and you'll hear me say it later on, it's a bit like a Bushcraft knife on steroids, this. Absolutely. It's not too heavy either. It weighs in at about 260 grams without the weight of the scabbard. The entire length of the knife is about 290 millimeters. And the length of the blade, the cutting surface, is about 130 millimeters. So it's not a huge knife, and to me, it certainly appears really good for cutting. So anyway, follow me out here into the wilds, and we're going to be looking at this knife in the coming weeks and see how it performs at various tasks. Thanks very much. A really useful plant in the jungle is the palm. And the good thing about palms are you don't even have to climb them to get some useful products from them. For example, around here in the jungle, you've got these palm fronds, including this large bract here, the greenish portion of it. They fall down quite often, and the bracts can be used for building shelters and also collecting water and various things like that. Now, to use the bract, you really need to cut it from the frond. And depending on how long it's been down on the ground will depend essentially on how easy it is to cut. And what I wanted to check here was with the Extrema Ratio's Task is how well was this going to perform here. Now, like all of Extrema Ratio's knives, the sheaths can be mounted on packs. You just don't have to have them mounted to your waist. You can mount it on a pack. It can be a MOLLE compatible pack. This is an ordinary day pack here, but it has horizontal straps on it, and the carry system can simply be mounted to that, and it can be quite convenient. These things are extremely fibrous, so aiding with the serrations on this knife, and the fact that the blade is nice and narrow. It's not a very thick blade. So the cutting edge is quite thin, which is great, and that's going to mean that there's going to be less friction when one's trying to slice through these things. One of the other things I looked at too was how tough was this knife. Now, I picked an older frond here, which was quite old and very, very fibrous, very, very tough, and very hard on any knife blade. I just wanted to hack into it, see if I could get the tip to fail. Okay, the knife is not designed for hacking because it just doesn't have the weight of a big, heavy knife, but I wanted to see how it performed if you had to really hack into something, and it actually performed quite well. Okay, so here is a really freshly fallen palm frond and brack, a very, very big, thick one. Now, this brack is huge, and it's perfect for building just simply a one-man shelter, providing bedding material, all sorts of things. And yes, you could hack into it with a machete or whatever, but if you don't have a machete, the best thing to cut through this thing is going to be a thinner blade knife such as the Task. Yeah, got any bush camping tools here. Anyway, got some sweet potatoes, wild sweet potatoes, and we've got some sweet potato vines. You can eat the leaves on these. These are pretty good, but anyway, we'll keep them for a minute. They're good there, but got the sweet potatoes, and gonna cut those up. So we're going to cut these up. Just cut off the shoots. In a jungle camp, you could replant these. I'd cut off a bit more, but as you can see, this is the palm frond. Some of these palm fronds we've been cutting down, and they're really good. Just cut these down a bit because these will cook a lot quicker in the fire. Like that. There you go. They're pretty good. And these were actually introduced, but they can grow, so they've grown wild, but it's an introduced species. Anyway, yeah. You want it thin enough so it's not going to break, but wide enough for maximum friction. Keeping the round up here to hang on to. It's a node. Bit thinner. Pretty strong stuff. For bushcraft and survival techniques, you just really can't go wrong if you've got access to bamboo. You can make so many things out of it. What we've got here is some banana leaves, and these are great for many things, especially for wrapping food up. So we're just going to get the Extrema Task out. This is a beautiful knife, look at that. Just absolutely fantastic for that. What we want is we're going to keep these, we don't want to tear them. Now those of you that know, bananas are really fibrous material. You're seeing this just cuts like butter. It's a much more practical task than trying to cut paper. That's right, I don't know who's cutting all the paper up outside, but anyway, that's that. Let's do another one. There we go. In this instance here, I'm just splitting, using another log to split, another branch to split the bamboo. I've made a cut in one end, and I'm just forcing it down. Now, the reason why I'm not putting a knife in here and trying to do it with a knife, because the bamboo is so springy, it will just close over the knife and tend to jam up the knife. Now, you could say we could put the knife in there and baton this thing down, but you may not have anything around to baton with, and if you don't, this is a good technique to do it. Okay. The task was absolutely perfect for preparing this strip of bamboo for a bow. As I said, it's basically a bushcraft knife on steroids. It's got very good control, or rather you can obtain really good control using this knife. The blade is thin enough, and the angle of the bevel on the actual cutting edge is such that you can really take fine angles, cut fine angles with this, so it's very good for carving with. Ah, look at that. Bloody big biting fly. Right, okay, I want to talk about the Task Scabbard carry system. This is a very nice carry system. You see it has this flap here, and this is a padded flap over the knife handle. Matter of fact, it's padded down here too. This has got a rigid insert inside of it. There's no way you can bend that. You can't be accidentally stabbed by this knife if you fall onto it, because this is a very strong, safe carry system. So let's undo that there. And so this flips around here like this. This can be removed. This slides down here. This can be removed if we undo it down here on this molly strap down here. These are the straps too for the leg loops. Now I took the leg loops off because I really don't like using leg loops in the bush. They can, at least not in the conditions I'm in here, because they can get caught up in things. Anyway, so double press studs here, like a lot of their knives. And you've got the Velcro in here to adjust this position of the strap here. Now to take the knife out, it's quite easy. You just need to put your thumb there and just flex this there, and the knife comes out, and it comes out silently. So here's the insert in here. It's a tough fibre reinforced nylon, and this can easily be removed for cleaning. You just pull this out here, and I'll just show you that, and we can take that out for cleaning. Just pull this plug out here, and to take it out you really need to squeeze the scabbard slightly to pull that out, and there it is there. Okay, and that's why it doesn't come out easily, because and you don't want it coming out easily. It's got these ridges on here like that to hold that in there, and that is really strong. This really strong. There's a drainage hole there. It's got a bit of rubber so you don't damage the knife tip as well, but that's really strong, and you are not going to accidentally stab yourself if you were to fall onto this knife. Now the other thing about this carry system is, let me just show you here, we'll strap this up here, is that this is quite hard. If you were to fall on that, that might hurt, cause some damage. So they've taken care of that by putting this on there. And also, you can't get anything caught on here now. Whereas if that's up like that, it's possible things can get caught on there, and that can't happen. So there you go. That's the carry system scabbard for the Extrema Ratio Task, and I really like it. I think it's well thought out. It's a nice scabbard, and it doesn't look very. And if you want to use this, obviously this is the military. It is a military style knife, designed for military use, but in civilian use, it doesn't look. It looks fairly unobtrusive too, and that's a good thing. Yeah, okay, so this is Extrema Ratio's Task, summary of this. It's absolutely a great knife. It's certainly what Extrema Ratio is saying. That's all-day cutting tasks. It's very good for cutting. You can see it dealt with the meat fairly well there. Yeah, absolutely. You can do many things around the camp for this, and I think it's, you know, I'd class this as a bit of a, you know, heavy-duty kitchen camp knife, you know. And let's face it, you've got to eat when you're in camp, and a good thin blade like this is the best thing to do that with. Absolutely. So there you go. Highly recommend this for a pretty sturdy camp knife.